Even if Kerry was going to lose, I would will it into existence. And I know that sounds kooky. And I know that sounds crazy. But just don't catch me on a wild day.
And that is pro-Trump organizer and MAGA activist Ali Alexander. He just told his podcast audience that he can will Republican Kari Lake to victory in the Arizona governor's race. Alexander's willpower does not seem to be working so well because Kari Lake, who's been behind consistently for the last several days by tens of thousands of votes, she has now officially been declared the loser in the Arizona governor's race to Democrat Katie Hobbs. Nonetheless, Ali Alexander, who organized the January 6th Stop the Steal rally, is not only promoting his own supernatural powers, he's also telling his podcast audience that he can time travel.
What if I told you that all of us are capable of traveling? Well, not all of us, because you're not smart enough, but what if I told you that there are a lot of people capable of time traveling? They just don't know it. What if I told you that time traveling is easier than you think? It requires a lot of discipline and no machines. What if I told you that the reason why the New World Order wants you to focus on fiction stories about machines is they don't want you to know that everyone has access to time travel?
Everyone has access to time travel, and the New World Order, whatever that is trying to distract all of us from our time travel capabilities. Ali Alexander, who's in his mid-30s, lives in Texas. His insanity has evolved through the years. He started getting involved in politics back in 2007. He worked on a presidential campaign. He did have a few problems with the law back then. He was charged with felony property theft and credit card abuse. Nonetheless, he continued his rise in politics. He worked on a couple political action committees. He formed an organization called the National Bloggers Club, saying that it was a non-for-profit, although he didn't register it that way with the IRS. Nonetheless, he continued to be involved in Republican politics, and then he became a huge supporter of Donald Trump, 2016, 2017, and he was outspoken, even got invited to the White House for some social media events. Well, after Donald Trump lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden, Ali Alexander was one of those who was very prominent in claiming the conspiracy theory, the big lie, that Donald Trump had the election stolen from him, that the election was rigged. There's no way Joe Biden could have won. And so Ali Alexander started organizing some rallies in Washington, D.C., and he was one of those people who helped organize the January 6th Stop the Steal rally. Well, a month after that failed insurrection attempt by some January 6th participants, Ali Alexander started soliciting donations for what he described as a MAGA mega city that he wanted to build. Yes, he wanted to build his own MAGA city. He also solicited donations for another city he wanted to build in South America that he would call the City of Alexander. One imagines that in both cities there would be no free press, because among the crazy things Alexander has said over the recent years is that the free press should be abolished because it is a system that controls us. Nonetheless, it is these recent comments flagged by Right Wing Watch which are getting the most attention, in which here's Alexander defying the laws of physics and time.
Then what if I told you that the way that those of us fight is we are each pulling from time itself? Yes, of course the Jews time travel. That's what makes the apostasy so great.
Ah, yes. Mr. Alexander also apparently dabbles in anti-Semitism. If this was just a lone podcaster, a lone fringe lunatic with no following, we would probably just describe him as a paranoid schizophrenic who should be ignored. But this guy has hundreds of thousands of conservative followers on social media. A lot of them believe his crazy conspiracy theories, hang on his every word, and can't wait for his next pronouncements over his podcast or over social media. In the real world, Ali Alexander is facing some serious trouble. He's being sued by Capitol Police for the January 6th riot. He's also said that he has more than $100,000 in legal fees that he owes. There's a solution to all of this, Ali. Time travel back 20 years. Go back 20 years to, say, 2000, 2002. Buy all the Apple stock you can, then time travel back to the future to now and sell the stock. And you've got tons of money. Problem solved. Time travel, Ali. You said it. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section.